as you can see, LSU's Flau'jae Johnson admits this about Caitlin Clark amid desire to settle score. LSU's icon Flau'jae Johnson is eager to settle the score with Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark.
Everyone is talking after LSU superstar Flau'jae Johnson made some significant remarks regarding playing WNBA rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. When asked about her toughest opponent, the former national champion didn't mince words. Her response sent shockwaves across the basketball world, revealing not only her fierce competitiveness, but also hinting at a fascinating battle whenever she joins the W What's Up Basketball Nation. Today, we're dissecting the shocking remarks made by LSU great guard Flau'jae Johnson regarding none other than the Indiana Fever rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, and I promise you'll want to hear every word of it. Her statements may surprise you.
So, lads, Flau'jae Johnson, one of the better players in college basketball, someone who actually was looking like she was going to be in with a shout of, well, being a first-team All-American. It really did at one stage. Obviously, as the year went on, Anita Morrow kind of cemented herself as the best player for LSU. But Flau'jae, obviously a champion in 2023. As a junior, made an Elite 8 last year. And she did still have a really good year, 18.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists. And obviously, look, there ain't no rivalry. Well, not that there's a rivalry.
For people who might not be familiar with Flau'jae Johnson, isn't just any college basketball player. She's a certified champion who helped the LSU Tigers win it all back in 2023. This past season, she put up impressive numbers, averaging 18.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. As many of you may recall, LSU defeated Iowa to win the national championship in 2023, and then Caitlin Clark and Iowa exacted revenge in the Elite 8, with Clark scoring an incredible 41 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. It was one of those performances that left even opponents in awe.
While LSU Tiger superstar had to sit out her team's SEC conference tournament due to shin inflammation, the junior is back to full health ahead of her team entering the 2025 NCAA tournament. Johnson brings a wealth of NCAA tournament experience to the tournament, given that the Tigers won the championship during her freshman year and lost in the Elite 8 next year. So, obviously, their season ended against Iowa, one being a win, the other being a loss.
Basketball fans across the world were eager to hear Flau'jae's response when Complex's Bridget Tully asked her a direct question. Who was the hardest opponent you have played in your college career so far? And what did you learn from that matchup?
Flau'jae's always had positive things to say about CC. They've linked up, they've taken photos at the All-Star game, they've showed mutual love. But it's not that common, as odd as it would seem, for somebody to just come out and say things about Caitlin Clark positively, or at least it wasn't in the rookie year that she had with the Indiana Fever, without qualifiers or anything else. So I thought this was of note and worth sharing, because Flau'jae did an interview with Complex where she talked about the players that were toughest to guard in her college career.
Johnson answered without hesitation that she had to be Caitlin Clark.
Definitely got to be Caitlin Clark, but also Paige Beckers, showing Paige some love. I didn't even play against Paige, but I've trained with her, and I've seen her play just like her pace and how she attacks the game. I just love that about both of them and their pace, you know what I'm saying? Them two are definitely the hardest. I played Clark my freshman year and my sophomore year. I'm a junior, and so first year, freshman year, we got it. Second year, she got me. So me and Caitlin, we 1-1 right now. I got to wait until I get into the league to break that tie. She's definitely the hardest opponent I've ever had to play. She was just able to facilitate. She's like the best passer I think I've ever played against ever in my life.
I'm a junior now, and I played Clark my freshman and sophomore years. We won the first year, and she won the second. So Caitlin and I are 1-1 right now. I have to wait till I get to the league to break that tie and just take a moment to process it. Johnson is already anticipating their upcoming game, not in college, but in the WNBA, which is indicative of a great competitor who never forgets or keeps track.
I do think there is, look, I think as of right now, unless there's this huge jump from Flau'jae, like, I think Flau'jae is going to come into the WNBA and do fine. Like, I will say this, like, I think that settling the score, you probably have to be the number one on your team to settle the score. Like, if Flau'jae comes into the WNBA next year as like the 4th pick, and let's just say she ends up with the 4th pick and she's drafted by the Mystics and comes off the bench for the Mystics, something like that, and the Mystics go and beat Caitlin Clark. I'm not going to say that's a 1-to-1. And again, playoffs matter. College games do matter, in fairness, because you don't play against each other 4 times a year, potentially 5 times a year if you're the Sky and the Fever next year.
What's so refreshing about these remarks is how Flay blends genuine appreciation with competitive fire. She went into detail about what makes Caitlin unique rather than only recognizing Clark as her fiercest opponent. This kind of respect contrasts sharply with some of the narratives surrounding Clark since she joined the WNBA, where some veterans and rookies alike have seemed reluctant to fully acknowledge Clark's impact on the game. Clark is undoubtedly the hardest opponent. She's just able to facilitate. She's like the best passer I think I've ever played against in my life. Johnson has no trouble acknowledging others when they deserve it. It's also important to note that Johnson's remarks coincide with women's basketball's historic expansion, as the sport's popularity and attention ratings are reaching all-time highs. Since Clark joined the league, the WNBA has seen its most-watched draft ever, with arenas all over the nation selling out and television numbers rising dramatically. The rise of a new generation of celebrities who are transforming women's basketball players like Flau'jae Johnson is what we're seeing. Not only are Angel Ree and Paige outstanding athletes, but they also have personalities that go beyond sports. They are active on social media, have multi-million-dollar deals, and don't hesitate to voice their opinions. This is the exact reason Johnson's remarks regarding Clark are so important, because they allude to what could develop into one of the most thrilling rivalries in women's basketball for years to come. Picture Flau'jae Johnson, who is probably a high draft pick in 2026, playing against Caitlin Clark, a seasoned WNBA star. The plot lines write themselves, and as Johnson approaches her senior year at LSU, she will have a fantastic opportunity to improve her game even more with Angel Reese. Johnson will probably play a bigger role for the Tigers in the WNBA. When she chooses to enter the professional ranks, her draft position may be greatly impacted by her performance the following season. Already, it appears that the 2026 WNBA draft class will be particularly gifted. Beyond Johnson, there are players who are predicted to be top picks, such as Kiki Rice of UCLA, Lauren Betts of Stanford, and Tina Layton of Duke. However, Johnson's mix of scoring prowess, athleticism, and championship experience offers her a distinct profile that WNBA teams will undoubtedly want. Perhaps most intriguing about Johnson's remarks is how they represent a shifting of the guard in women's basketball media. For many years, particular narratives dominated discussions about women's basketball, but now that players have more platforms and visibility to address fans directly, we're seeing more genuine, unvarnished viewpoints. Johnson is expressing herself honestly, admitting both her win over Clark and her loss, and anticipating the rubber match in the future. She isn't playing the media game. While there have been instances of tension between Clark and other players, most notably the much-discussed dynamic with Angel Reese Johnson, it's important to note how different Johnson's approach is from some of her peers. This kind of honesty is refreshing in an era where athlete comments can frequently feel scripted or overly cautious. It speaks volumes about Johnson's character and approach to the game. It's not just good sportsmanship. Her recognition of Clark as the most formidable opponent she has ever faced is a testament to her own self-assurance and security as a player. It's about competing against the greatest and rising to the occasion. Kim Kai, the vocal head coach of LSU, famously stated following their defeat by Iowa in the Elite Eight. During their post-game handshake, "I'm delighted you're going to Clark," even if that comment made headlines. When Johnson says she's looking forward to breaking their tie in the WNBA, she's not just talking about her own pride. She's embracing the kind of individual rivalry that has historically propelled sports to new heights. This approach seems more indicative of how many players in her generation see Clark as a standard, a yardstick by which to measure their own performances. Manning and Brady, Venus and Serena have intense rivalry. Elevate both athletes and eventually advance the sport overall. Fans have responded favorably to Johnson's remarks made online, lauding her integrity and spirit of competition. "This is how we do it. Let's take it to the court." It will be fantastic to see CC welcome the rookies into the league. "This is how you make it exciting." One fan wrote, "F is such a fun player to watch. I hope to see her and Caitlin Clark compete against each other for many years in the W." Another fan added, "F keeping it real. I respect that she's a competitor and a dog." Johnson's last comment, "No drama, no issues, just pro ball and respect," perfectly captures what makes her viewpoint so refreshing in a time when manufactured drama frequently overshadows the real competition. Johnson brings it back to the core of sport respect. Your opponent acknowledges your greatness, and then you do everything in your power to beat them. This strategy bodes well for Johnson's future both during her remaining time at LSU and in her professional career. Players who maintain this level of competitive fire while also displaying maturity and sportsmanship typically have long, successful careers at the highest level for LSU fans. Johnson's remarks confirm what they already know. They have a unique talent who elegantly represents their program to WNBA fans, offering a tantalizing sneak peek at what will happen when she eventually enters the professional ranks. Due to Reese joining the WNBA, Johnson's 2012 4-2 college basketball season will be very important. Johnson has the chance to fully establish herself as the face of LSU women's basketball, and how well she does in that capacity will have a significant impact on her draft stock and career prospects. However, it is already certain that whenever Flau'jae Johnson joins the WNBA, her games against Caitlin Clark will be broadcast on CTV due to their stark contrasts. Basketball will be exciting with Styles Clark, a long-range shooter and elite passer, and Johnson, an explosive scorer and defender. By facing Clark in those crucial college games, Johnson had to step up her game, and those experiences will help her as she develops further. Johnson's readiness to acknowledge Clark's influence on her growth as a player also speaks to a greater reality in sports. Great players improve one another. Johnson's remarks are particularly striking for their sincerity in a time when sportsmen are frequently trained to provide bland, uncontroversial responses. Johnson talks with surprising candor. She calls Clark the best passer I believe I've ever faced in my life, pointing out what makes her unique rather than merely praising her in passing. That level of detail conveys true regard rather than only token admiration. It is evident that Johnson has studied Clark's game and knows what makes her so successful. Her basketball acumen and physical prowess are what many believe will make Johnson a future WNBA star in her own right. Rivalries like the one that is growing between Johnson and Clark are extremely valuable because they provide networks with captivating narratives to build around when Johnson eventually joins the WNBA and takes on Clark. It will be a highly publicized primetime fight for the first time as a professional, and what makes their possible rivalry even more intriguing is how different their paths have been up to this point. For several years, Clark served as the face of collegiate basketball, setting records and becoming well-known. Although Johnson is undoubtedly a star and has shared the limelight at LSU with other well-known figures like Angel Ree, she doesn't appear to be upset about Clark's attention. Instead, she is focused on the pure basketball challenge of facing one of the best in the world. This mature outlook will help her as she navigates the timing of Johnson's professional debut couldn't be better given the increased attention that comes with WNBA stardom, the league's expansion, and the level of talent joining the league at an all-time high. The league is growing at an unprecedented rate, and players with Johnson's skill and charisma are a major reason why their mutual respect serves as a model for how competitive rivalries can as the 2024-25 college basketball season draws near. All eyes will be on Johnson to see how she improves her game in preparation for an eventual WNBA career. Will she add more range to her jump shot? Will she become an even more dominant defender? Will she take on more playmaking responsibilities? Whatever area she chooses to focus on, one thing is certain when Johnson eventually makes the jump to the WNBA and faces Caitlin Clark. Elevate women's sports without devolving into needless drama. This will benefit players, fans, and the sport itself. Sports at their best are about great athletes pushing each other to new heights, respecting each other's games, and never backing down from a challenge. Basketball fans will be treated to a matchup between two fiercely competitive, extremely talented players who bring out the best in each other. The obstacle Flau'jae Johnson understands that, and women's basketball benefits from it. Fans of basketball, Flau'jae. I'm excited to see these two talents because Johnson's candid assessment of Caitlin Clark demonstrates what true competition is all about, respect combined with fierce determination. This rivalry could define women's basketball for years to come. If you liked this breakdown, hit the like button now and click subscribe for more unique basketball content that you won't find anywhere else. Clash again in the WNBA. Until the next time, provide your thoughts in the comments section about who you believe will win their next fight.